Married couples, what advice would you give to young couples? Communication. Make sure you both have an understanding to communicate your feelings, intents, and plans, so you are both on the same page about things. When you're married, you are part of a team, and if either of you are lacking in the communication department, it makes for a bad combination. Don't be afraid to talk about things that might feel uncomfortable. The more you do it, the easier it can get. Don't internalize things. Don't leave your partner guessing on how you are feeling and why. That way, if there is a problem, you work together to fix it. Don't go to sleep angry. Fighting while tired doesn't accomplish anything. Revisit the next day when you're both fully rested and had time to think. This is very good advice. I believe the "don't go to bed angry" comes from a Bible verse that many Christians and motivational speakers like to cherry-pick and take out of context. It's something like, "Don't let the sun set on your wrath," but with the full context it doesn't mean it the same way you might think. If I remember correctly, with context it's more like, "Don't sunset your anger." Same with the misquote, "Money is the root of all evil." It's the love of money is the root of all evil. There is actually a verse that says, "Wine makes merry, but money solves all problems." Pretty funny. Don't talk shit about each other to your friends or family members. Your team. If you have a complaint and need to tell someone, be honest with your partner about it rather than telling a third party. This is something that I've been trying to explain to my friend. Whenever he has a problem with his girlfriend, he's more likely to talk to me or his other friends than to solve it with her. And to top it all, I'm good with her as much as I'm good with him. As someone who has to listen to that quite regularly, it feels pretty toxic. For both him and his friends, including me. Feels like he's just complaining, like he doesn't even want to solve the issue. Have fun as a couple, don't have kids too soon, get professional careers or at least, finish any bucket list items like college or travel, before kids. To go along with having fun. Don't be afraid to look immature or childish to others. My husband pushes the cart with me standing on the end, when we leave the grocery store. We get dirty looks from middle-aged people, but the elderly couples just smirk and laugh. My sister and her spouse did this before having their baby. They are very fulfilled. Kindness. Don't be short, rude, and proud. You have to live with this person the rest of your life. Always be kind. Forgive. You aren't immune to making any of the same mistakes. You're not as perfect as you think you are. Don't dwell on the negative in one another. This is a bad mental path to get on. You are both imperfect. Compliment one another on your strengths. And help one another with weaknesses. Be committed. Life will change. You both will change. There is security in commitment. There is trust when you feel secure. Here are two of the best advices that one of our Nanan's primary sponsors said when we announced our plan to marry. 1. Marry when you are both ready, and 2. You should be able to accept every fault and weakness in your partner's being. If you do, then you're ready to get married. I've seen a lot of failed marriages wherein both parties are either completely incompatible or have issues with each other's personalities, habits, and lifestyle choice, and they expect marriage will either fix that, or the things that each hate will somehow improve. Expect that nothing that drastic will change with your partner after marriage. She is a slob and doesn't wash properly. She'll still be a slob the next hour after you said your vows. He keeps getting on your nerves by being a smartass and a sarcastic sob. Guess what? He'll still be that way the next morning after the reception. Relationships shouldn't feel like work. Ignore that common piece of advice. While relationships do take effort, it should feel more like a friendship and less like a job. Don't be shy about expressing appreciation, affection, and lust. Don't assume those sentiments are given, your soul will just know is there. It's important to feel wanted and appreciated. Communication is a cliché bit of advice, but important, nonetheless. Keep learning to do it better. And bear in mind that we all have moments where it is difficult to do or are unsure of how we're feeling, so be patient with yourself and your partner. Couples counseling. It's so much easier to do couples counseling when things are going well than to wait for everything to go sour and try to fix it. We did a weekend retreat before moving together to another part of the country, immediately before we got engaged. Preconception counseling when we decided to have a child. We could address all of our issues without the additional burden of the relationship being bad. And even though our relationship was great, those issues are still tough. We talked about everything from our relationships with our families, jobs, money, to our dynamic with each other, to stuff like I struggle to be attracted to you when you gain weight and I don't trust you to stick around when things get hard. Made it much easier to feel like we'd cleared the air before having a child. Do things your spouse enjoys, and don't keep score. For example, my wife loves going to soccer games, but I don't. And I love horror movies, but my wife doesn't. But I still go to games with her, and she still watches horror movies with me. Support each other's hobbies and interests. Just seeing them enjoying something makes it all worthwhile. Exactly. Sit down once a month and look over your finances. Always have a master plan on what both of you want, then work together towards that. Communication is everything. Laugh at yourself more than you laugh at them. Fight fair. Both of your families are crazy, don't hold that against each other. Little love gestures go a long ways. Hold hands in public. Save money and create wealth. Head scratches and back rubs have done more for my love life than nice dinners, new cars and flowers. Know each other's love language. The rule of 5, every 5 weeks, go out on a nice date every 5 months, take a weekend vacation and every 5 years, take a 2-week vacation. Compliment them when they look amazing. Laugh together, be patient and understanding when one or the other is having a hard time. Don't be frightened to admit you were wrong. Have exciting sex. Find shared interest, but also give them time for individual interests. Be open about how stuff makes you feel. Your partner is not a mind reader, and husbands need as much attention and compliments and affection just as a woman does. Tell them you love them often. Tell them when you have really enjoyed doing something together, and that can be just as simple as sitting watching a film or sitting in your garden. Offer to make them a drink. Keep touching each other like you did when you first met. Life can take over, but keep doing all of the above. You'll still fight and argue or disagree. But that's life, but only a part of it. Have fun together. I was 19 when I met my wife, 20 when we moved in together, and 21 when we got married. We had our 13th wedding anniversary this spring. When people ask me if I think they are ready to propose, I ask them this: if you could change time and meet them at a different point in your life. If they say yes, I ask, would you have rather met them later in life so you could have spent more time partying before settling down? Or do you wish you had met them sooner so you would have more time together? If they say they wish they had more time being single and sleeping around, I tell them they're not ready. Don't rush into getting married. Take the time to get to know each other and how you will work and communicate together, and make sure you're on the same page on the important subjects. And don't rush into having kids either. Take the time as a married couple to get to know each other and how you will work and communicate together, and make sure you're on the same page on other important subjects. Always remember to stay best friends. Your partner should be your friend, not just your soulmate. It's always you two against all issues and not you against each other. Lastly, it's important to be great parents, but don't put your marriage on the back burner to raise them. You need to prioritize yourselves as well. Help each other out on everyday things, don't be dirty, enjoy life and do things together. She cooks, you wash the dishes,